Yo guys, what's up? And today, nothing crazy happened, and I cooked again. As you can see, up almost $7,500 on the week, and it's only 2 days in. And like I said last Friday, you always know it's a great day when we're only taking a few trades. This morning I only took one again. I did take one during Asia yesterday, which made me $815. The only reason I was trading Asia was to pass this account, which I did pass, and then did hop in that same trade I took on the other account. Made me a little bit more because I got a little bit of a later entry because I had to activate the account, which ended up being a better entry. 1,300 on that trade, and we took one this morning that made me 1570. So this account almost 3 bands on the day. This account almost 2,400 on the day. So pretty crazy day. I mean, back to back $5,000 days. Today was a little bit more than 5,000, but yeah. So far on these two accounts, we're up about almost 15,000 USD in 4 days, which is pretty damn good. It could be better, but it's not bad. So this account, I've got more than enough for a max payout. Gonna have a huge buffer, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow I can get another win and get that max payout. And then I'm gonna load up 3 more accounts and keep running with it. These 150k accounts are really nice. Once the price action gets back to normal, we have really good conditions. I swear to God, I'm gonna be making 50k a month easy, maybe more. These 150k accounts, just if you guys have only ever traded on 50k accounts, it almost feels like, how do I explain this? Like you're not really getting anywhere. Like the 50k accounts, you can make a payout. Like don't get me wrong, but you're making 2-3 grand tops, and even across 5 accounts, you're maybe like my biggest payout across like all accounts total, I think was 12,000, and that really doesn't do much for you when you got to reinvest some of it. You got taxes. So these 150k accounts are a lot better. So I do recommend, if you guys are good traders and you're confident in yourself, Top Step's 150k accounts are great. They are very expensive though. They're like $230. So obviously don't go up to this stage till you're confident in yourself and you're getting payouts consistently on 50ks or 100ks. But once you guys are starting to see some success on the smaller accounts, definitely worth it to size up to 150k, because you can risk one mini, no problem, not even worry about blowing your account. And even just one mini allows you to take way bigger trades like this that don't take a lot of points to hit. So yeah, definitely consider that, guys. Don't always get stuck in the same place. Make sure you're always improving. And when you really want to make money, obviously you need to get your own account and get your own money in that account. But 150k accounts are definitely the way to go if you're going to be trading props, because this could very well turn out to be $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month if I stay consistent throughout the whole month, which is great. That's more than enough money, especially since I'm Canadian. I get a little bit of a bonus when I convert the money over. So yeah, it's enough yapping. Let's get into the trade today. Obviously, we had CPI. There wasn't much going on with Trump today. I mean, there's a little bit of bullshit around market open, but he actually kind of chilled out. As you can see, there's not really any red news anywhere, which is nice. He said some stuff about China and whatnot right at market open, and a little bit on the Iran war, but I kind of stayed out of that. I didn't trade till after all this happened, so none of this really affected me. I'll go over the trade I took yesterday first, which was Asia session, and that was right in here. So or sorry, right here. This session had the same 2 stacked highs here, and we had this low here, and we had this New York AM low as well. So we had a few relative equal session lows there that were good targets in my opinion. And coming into the session opens right about here. We had this 15-minute bullish gap, and we were trading up into, we had inversed a 30-minute and a 15-minute, and I wanted longs, but I said, the guy I was trading with as well, I said if we do inverse this gap, I'm taking shorts. We had this data wick that was about Dubai attacking Iran. So I wanted to see this get hit if we broke this gap. And we did end up breaking this gap right pretty much at Asia Open. So I got in a little bit after that. Right here is where I got in. So I got in down here on my account I had the other day, and I did experience quite a bit of drawdown, but I had my stops at this high here, and my take profit was down to here. This was a pretty good trade in my opinion. We had inverse the 15. It would have been obviously a better entry if I waited till up here. The best entry on this trade, so we had this 3-minute gap, we fill it, and then we get a 3-minute inversion back down. Either entering here or up here was the best entry. Unfortunately, I got a pretty shitty entry on that, but it still hit, and I wasn't like risking a crazy amount. I only made $800. I was only risking like 400, so it was nothing crazy, but pretty good setup. And I got in a bit later on this account. You can see at 5:31, which was up here. So I got in up here on this red candle, which got me a little bit more RR. That's why I made an extra $500 on that account, because I hit like a 1 to 4 on this account, which was a lot better. And the only reason I did that was because this leg down is where I passed the eval, so I had to give it like 10 minutes till I could activate it. And yeah, that was that. So that was a pretty easy trade. We hit this low, and we actually continued further down to these relative equal session lows here, took them out, and that didn't leave us with anything crazy. We had a New York lunch low that also got taken out pre-market, and London low also got taken out pre-market. So our next set of lows were this New York AM here, London here, and what I ended up targeting this morning was the CPI candle. If you guys can see right here, was a complete failure. If anyone full ported their evals on CPI, you got fucking wrecked. I've been telling everyone stop doing that. It has not been working. But this was our CPI candle right here. And we only went about 43 points, which is nothing. Like even this just normal 1-minute candle here at 725 was 42 points. Like this one here, 43 points. Like these CPI and PPI and FOMC and all this crap, all these candles are just not the same anymore. The market makers seem to have kind of ruled out full porting that, in my opinion. Like it used to work. Like I used to hit bangers on that shit all the time, but hasn't worked in the past I'd say 8 super high impact news events. So I'd be very careful doing that. My highest viewed video on YouTube is actually how to full port that, so it kind of sucks, but that just shows you guys that most people trading are just gambling. That video's got like 500 views. My other videos get like 30 if I'm lucky, and that just shows you guys, like, to actually be good at this shit, you gotta not be like those guys. I mean, it's fine for evals, but it's always just easier just to trade, like, realistically. Like, that shit, you shouldn't be doing it anyways. But yeah, I had this external low marked out because when I was looking this morning, I looked on the 3-minute, and I thought this was the, because you can see it says 530. I thought this was a CPI candle. I didn't realize I was looking on the 3-minute. So I thought it was unswept, and this could have totally bit me in the ass, like, not gonna lie. But I thought that was unswept, so that was kind of my target for the day. We also were in a pretty serious downtrend, and we had this 4-hour gap and this 4-hour gap we were trading within, and we had a 1-hour gap up here that was right by London highs. So I'm sure you guys can see this setup now. I completely like top ticked and bottom ticked this setup. This was great. I ended up getting in on this one. You can see we just grab London highs. We tap into that 1-hour gap, and we end up coming down and respecting it as we trade back into the 4-hour. We get a 1-minute inversion off the top, which would have been the best entry, but I trade highest time frame inversions. So the highest time frame for me was this 3-minute gap here. So I waited till we closed below that gap, which was right there. And I ended up getting in as soon as we closed below that gap. We did also have a 1-minute gap here, which we did get a bit of a bounce off that kind of scared me. But my stops were all the way up here. Gave us room to breathe on this gap, which we did end up inversing. As you can see, there's nothing on the 5-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute. There was a gap, and the 1-minute we did end up inversing it, but this was a 2-minute gap that we still respected. And the best trade would have been probably right here, after we do inverse that 1-minute, but that was not giving me enough RR. So I actually got in here and just targeted down to this low that I thought was the CPI low, and ended up hitting take profit right there. It's a nice, like, I want to say, I was risking about like $1,200, something like that. Made $1,600 on it, so I mean that's about right where my stop was. And after this little leg up here, no drawdown at all. Played out super smoothly. Bounced hard off that, which would have gone up to my break even. So I'm glad I didn't target any lower. But yeah, that was my play for the day. I haven't really looked at anything else. I definitely think I can see a setup here. No, maybe not. There was a lot of manipulation for longs today that I didn't like. Like you can see, after taking out that low, I bet you a lot of people took a long off this 5-minute inversion, which I wouldn't say would have been a bad trade. But we are clearly in a downtrend. We had clear targets below that we needed to come grab, which we did. And taking longs today was just not the move. So if you did take longs today, I mean, there were some decent setups. If you got in right off this first 1-minute inversion here, you might have hit TP, depending on where you're targeting. But realistically, we get 1, 2, 3 short setups in a row, and you can even say this was one here, 4 short setups in a row. All you have to do is really press short today, and you were chilling. This was simple ICT concepts, like this one here, like clear 3-minute inversion, and we just dump down. Again, we tap back into a fair value gap, 3-minute inversion here, tap back into it. This might actually end up being the best trade of the day here. It was a little bit later on, but we do get tap back into this gap. and we get a 3-minute inversion back down with a tap back into it. Right there, targeting down to this low. That actually looks like it probably is the best trade of the day there. 1 to 3 RR, give or take. Not much drawdown. Well, no drawdown at all if you entered right at the top. And yeah, he could even target down to this low. It's pretty low resistance. Could have caught 1 to 4.5 or almost a 1 to 5. He had stops a bit tighter. So that was a really good trade today. If you took any shorts, they were all pretty textbook. Long stay just didn't play out till late in the session. After this sweep here, we got a nice V-shape reversal, but that's way too late in the day to be trading. That's 4 hours after market open. I don't think many people were still trading at this point. But yeah, PPI tomorrow, so we are getting a bit of a push up now, but I will not be shocked if we do continue to go lower. We did respect the 4-hour gap still, you can see, so there is a chance we get back up to all-time highs. We'll see how PPI goes. I have a feeling we're going to have a huge crash this week with the new Fed chairman getting appointed and all that, so be on the lookout for that. I always say if we're inversing higher time frame gaps, it's always fine to short at all-time highs. You can clearly see we inverse this 4-hour gap. We didn't get this one, but you're not going to get both in one day, considering this is a very, very wide gap. This is like 500 points. So in my opinion, there's still room to move down. We'll see what happens. We inversed all the hourly gaps. So yeah, we're starting to inverse the higher time frame gaps to the downside. So in my opinion, it's okay to short again. Does that mean only look for shorts? No, definitely not. But I'm not going to be afraid to short. I looked at my account. I took 13 longs in a row. And yesterday, Asia was my first short in those 13, after those 13 trades. So yeah, it might be time to start looking both ways again. Hopefully we continue a little bit lower because trading at all-time highs just fucking blows. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, PPI tomorrow. And this Fed chairman thing keeps getting pushed back. So I've heard that's supposed to be on Friday. I don't know why Forex Factory is showing it today and tomorrow, but we'll see what happens with that. 13th just says PPI, and Trump is meeting with Xi. So that's going to be a big deal. Be careful around 7 o'clock. That's not going to be listed on Forex Factory. We also have the Fed guys speaking between 8:30 and 10:30. So after market open, it should get pretty volatile. So be careful if you're in a trade. Obviously, look for the data highs, data lows out of PPI, and should be a pretty good day again. So yeah, I think that one's going to wrap this one up here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, and please subscribe. It means a lot. I'm trying to grow the channel, making these videos every day. So if you're not subscribed, it would mean a lot, even if you don't watch the videos. I got to start getting my subscribers up. So yeah, with all that being said, end this one here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.